Alright, let's get started. So I'm kind of pissed off today, but that's unrelated to what we're talking about. I'm on Linux Mint right now. Gentoo was just giving me issues with my graphics drivers and I couldn't figure out what the problem was, so I was like, fuck it, I'll use a sane distribution for a bit and just deal with it, you know? So I had to pick one and I was like, well, I already have a Linux Mint USB and it probably works fine. So I was going to use Debian with GNOME, and I installed Debian with GNOME, but now I have the Capuchin fucking theme, you know, and GNOME is not compatible with themes right now. You can theme like GTK3 applications, but not GTK4, which is what a lot of applications in GNOME are now. So I was like, I'll stay off of GNOME. I'll try KDE. So I tried Debian with KDE, and I started to get annoyed by some of the stuff it had going on. Like, your user isn't added to wheel by default, so you have to fucking SU for everything, and it's got that weird SU hyphen thing that it does. And I was like, why am I bothering with Debian when I can just install something even more sane that has shit enabled by default that I probably should. So I was like, well, I could use Ubuntu, but I really don't want to use snaps because the only applications that I install that are snaps are ones where I'm theming them and they explicitly cannot be snap. So something like Discord or whatever has to be, I have to have the Flatpak or the native package. I can't, or like the Deb or whatever. I can't use the Snap. I can't use it for Spotify because if I want to install a Spotify theme, I can't do that either. So the only times where I'm installing a Snap is where I really can't have a Snap. So I was like, okay, well if I use Mint, then it won't have snaps and I can do whatever with it, but it'll be basically Ubuntu, which is honestly a upgrade from Debian. So I installed Mint and that's where I've been for right now and it works fine. But today though, I was like, oh, let me try Slackware. People keep telling me I need to try Slackware. So I'm going through the installer, and other than the docs don't tell you to run the setup program. It doesn't tell you, hey, type in setup when you're done with cfdisk. I figured that out by reading an article on it or something, which already bad documentation, so we're off to a fucking good start here. But what ended up happening though was I go through the installer and I have to go through it twice because one of the prompts didn't work for me or something. So I'm going through the installer twice and then I try to reboot and it's not booting into. I go to like BIOS by default and go to the setup menu or whatever, like the boot menu. And I was looking for Slackware in it and there was no Slackware. So yeah, even though I made sure it was going to the right drive and it wasn't using the Lilo, it was using fucking ELI Lilo or something. Oh no, it's a bootloader I've never used before, and it probably isn't compatible with my computer. You know, who knows? But all I know is I didn't have a boot menu option for Slackware, so and I'm not really interested enough in it to go debugging or whatever. I just don't care. So if you're wondering why I haven't used Slackware before, here's your answer. I've tried Slackware and I can't even get it to install. So there you go. All right. I will see you in the next one. Thanks.